Good morning. Welcome back to Bull 482. If you guys have been following my videos, you know I've been building this truck to take on the Gambler500. Some of you don't know what the Gambler500 is. We'll get to that in a moment. So I've been building this, getting it ready for an adventure that me and Dad are going to do this summer. And well, the 302 in this popped a freeze plug, and well, I tried to get it home, but I ended up cooking the engine. I don't know if you can tell, I have a little bit of a cold again. So I was thinking maybe we could pull this 302, see what damage is done, and maybe go through and rebuild on it and do a couple upgrades. But I'm kind of over this truck at the moment. Put a lot of nice stuff into this. We put Bilstein shocks in it. We put airbags. We put new ball joints, steering components. Really awesome quick fuel carburetor, which I'm really liking on this truck. And then getting ready to put a sound system in it too. And you know, this kicks a freeze plug. So what's happening is we're going to take my other bullnose truck, which is a little bit, well, it is definitely a capable rig, and it is more fuel efficient, but the problem is it's a lot taller, and when it comes to getting in and out of it, it's a little bit of a chore. And I really wanted to take this truck because it's easier for me and Pops to get in and out of. So we're just going to have to muscle through it and deal with it on the other truck that has a 12-inch lift on 35s. So the new plan is to kind of get the 4BT truck ready. And if you're like, what's 4BT? I'll show you. Because we're going to be tinkering with that a little bit today. So we're going to be getting that truck ready. It doesn't need a whole lot. It's fairly ready. I mean, literally, we could just pack up and top the tank off and go. Like, that's pretty much where it's at. But what I do want to do is some things like I want to change the front and rear differential oils out. I put new gears in them, you know, a while ago. And they've been through some stuff. They're pretty well broken, especially the front. As you know, I got my truck stuck. And when I got it out of where it was stuck, to get out of that trail, we had to pretty much drive the thing front wheel drive. I blew a tire and somehow made it out front wheel drive. 2.5 wheel drive, we'll say. So anyways, I want to go ahead and change the oils out, put some fresh oil in, and just do some general maintenance on it. I want to take the front hubs apart. Make sure they don't have any water or rust or anything in them. Get those greased up, and we'll kind of go from there. So this may be a little bit of a long video, but we'll see what we get done today. It may be one of my typical 30-minute videos. But yeah, so this truck, it's in timeout corner. That's kind of what this area is here on the side of my house. The old timeout corner. Yeah, so we'll get back to this sometime later this year. Right now we got to focus on the 4BT truck. Now this is one thing we have to fix on this truck. I'm going to put my fender flare back on and fix a little bit of body damage. This was thanks to a blown up tire that I drove on so that I can get this thing parked. And I have my friend's spare. I have a new wheel and BFG on the way. It looks like they're gonna, since I bought replacement certificates, they're gonna replace the one tire, which what'd I do with it? This is my OG truck from my Johnson's Garage YouTube channel. Oh, let's see if we can sneak in here. I need to give this thing a bath. It's pretty dirty. It's muddy. My battery cables are dirty. 4BT. This has got 4BT Cummins in it. A lot of people ask, you know, why didn't you do a 12 valve? Well, this truck was originally a 2-wheel drive, like not lifted at all, stock tires, and I was like, 4BT is good enough. And plus, kind of like the 4BT. It's kind of a unique engine, and I figured, you know, why not? They were cheap at the time. So anyways, it's got the 4BT in it. It is hopped up a little bit. It does have a big sushi slicer down there. Big super single. And then it has 40 horse injectors. I got I think it's a Denny T fill pin, which, I think I'd probably maybe like to get a different one for it. And it's rebuilt, which I did videos on. I can put some links down below on that. I did rebuild it, not last year. Gee, last year blew by. 2020 is when I rebuilt it. One of the things I want to do is I want to get the valve covers off and do some valve adjustments. I haven't done it since I rebuilt it, and I've probably got, I don't know, 10, 15,000 miles on it, I'd say. Maybe 10. It needs an adjustment. I also want to get my mix shift boot thing off there and get my other intake plate on, because I'm not going to be upgrading the pipe just yet. It still needs to be intercooled and stuff. I've been really dragging my feet on doing that. It just honestly hasn't really needed it, especially because I don't tow with this thing. This AC hose I got in here, I think I'm taking out. Honestly, guys, I don't think I'm ever going to have AC in this truck. I honestly just don't want to put the money into it to get the AC going. I mean, all it is getting a bracket built here, but it just, yeah, not really too worried about it. The other truck can have AC, but not too worried about on this one. I think at the minimum, I would like to order some new intake pipe stuff. Get rid of this Cobra elbow that I tried to put on the turbo. That's why this is here. And I'd like to take this air filter and move it over here. So it's just out of the way of the radiator heat and whatnot. So I'll probably order, honestly, I just need an elbow. And then just, whoop, elbow and maybe a 45. Yeah. Well, I got a few minutes while I wait for NEPA to open. I'm a little low on coolant. In fact, this jug is actually out. So can I, do this? Guess it wasn't actually that empty. Well, it did take half of this. I was wondering why my sprayer wasn't working for the windshield washer, and you know why it wasn't working? Because the jug was out of fluid. That's good enough. That takes care of that. This has got plenty of ice cube maker in it. Gotta get in here and clean the battery terminals and get the batteries cleaned off. That's not really good for them to have dirt and water and stuff on them, because when it builds up enough, it can actually kind of make a little bit of a connection to the other battery posts. So if your battery keeps dying, you got all this crap on top, and you have dirty connections also. Well, there's your answer. Got on the fluids there. Gotta check the oil. I did change the oil on this a while ago. I did give it a hot supper though. Yeah, you guys remember when I was having that weird problem where it was smoking and kind of not firing right on one cylinder? Well, I put a full tank of fresh diesel in. I put a new fuel filter in, some diesel clean, and a nice hot supper out in the cold, snowy field. Oh! See, the problem with running waste oil, which is what I do with this thing, is that it makes the fuel dirty, and so all those deposits and stuff in the oil build up around the injectors and start plugging up the tips. So what worked for me was, like I said, fresh fuel filter, a full tank of fresh fuel, and then some diesel clean, and a hot supper. Hot supper. I mean, I'm talking like 1400 degree EGTs, 40 pounds of boost, flying through the field. Yeah, it cleared it right up. I turned 30 last week, and this left knee of mine is kind of becoming a problem. So one thing I don't know that we'll get to on this truck before the Gambler is I would like to replace my steering links with a new kit. My drag link is just a little too short. And it has a little bit of bump steer. Well, that oil didn't look too bad, actually. I don't know how many miles I got it, but I'll tell you what, it's she should be well broke in by now. If we didn't damage that gasket, I might just go ahead and reuse it. Well, let's see what we got going on here. Gear pattern looks pretty decent. I got the setup just right on this. Nice. Yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna wipe whatever's left in the bottom out, and then we'll kind of brake clean the bottom out, and we'll find some Scotch-Brite. I think I have some around here somewhere. I'll clean the surface up, brake clean it, and we'll throw down on some RTV and put the cover back on, and yeah. Well, thanks to Dad for supplying me a lifetime supply of RTV. The one thing that's nice about a lifted truck like this is it's just so easy to get to everything. Okay. This is also a 13. Okay, drive line angle. Yep, I'm gonna have to grease everything up on this. And this one I think I RTV'd on. Gotta make sure you're recording. You don't know how many times I forgot to hit the record button. I have to move this wood back just a little bit. I'm in the danger zone of getting wet a little bit. Luckily it's not really raining right now, so. Oh yeah. That needed to be changed. Now this I've got a lot of miles on, some towing miles. Nope, I got a gasket on this one too. A little bit of foamage in here. I wonder if we're getting some moisture. I mean, I've taken this thing off-road so many freaking times. I need an oil change. Well, this is certainly a lot harder to work on now that it's got a 12-inch freaking lift on it. I am going to have to grab my step stool. Alright, if you're wondering what that noise is next to you there, I got my battery charger on. I like to throw them on once in a while just so that the batteries can get topped off since I haven't really been driving it. So far it's got really clean air going out. This Cannon filter I got is doing its job. Now what I've learned about this valve cover when you're running the goofy engine mounts that I have on this, the engine's a little high, so getting this up and out of there is a little bit tricky, so you have to undo this injector. Actually, I think both of these you need to undo and move them over, and then you can get that out of there. Okay, don't know where the 17 is, but I do have this 11/16. That works just fine. So now you should be able to move over a tiny bit. And then the valve cover comes out. Oh, that's tight. That's our intake. That's our exhaust. Our intake's pretty tight. Make sure the cam's not on it. Okay, intake on these the same as a 12 valve. So the intake clearance needs to be 10 thousandths. And then we're 20 on the exhaust. So far, every single intake valve has been just way too tight. That'll be good. Click. Click. Well, that's that. I'm gonna work on cleaning up my batteries over here. They're a little dirty. Yeah. Also, I need some coffee. Here we go. Click. 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 Did I ever get this one? Nope. Click. Yep. Click. Click. And we just start squeezing her in. Oh yeah. You gotta love it when they have a lift like this. Just so much easier to get the stuff in. I got the front and rear diffs full of oil. They both, the front took 2.5 quarts, give or take. The rear took 3.5. In inventory, I've got enough oil to do that all over again. That'll go with us when we go to Gambler. The rear drive shaft it needs new U-joints. The one at the differential had a messed up roller, so I had to take it all apart, brake clean it, reassemble it. I did grease the U-joints. They're pumped up. So I'm gonna end up getting U-joints and replacing those later. I really don't want to do that, but that rear drive shaft I'm not going to have redone until we put my Bronco transfer case in. Same thing with the front drive shaft. I don't want to spend any money on it until put the Bronco transfer case in, because that front drive shaft is getting basically, I think both drive shafts are getting rebuilt. Found my grease gun. Me and Cody were looking for this. Couldn't find it. Where was it? Behind my toolbox. Oh yeah, this has got Bigfoot grease in it. Nasty orange stuff. Okay, that's good. That dog, I tell you what. Oh. Ooh. Now, just a couple of pumps. You don't need to give them. You don't need to explode the boots. Whew. Well, everything's greased up front. Fresh oils. I'm probably not going to bother with the transmission or transfer case. I did change that a while ago. Oh yeah, I got one more thing to do in the back, but that's, yeah. Involves zip ties. I rearranged my e-brake cable so it's not dangling. It's back to where it was when I put it in the first place. W30. Diaper wipes, those come in handy one day. Oh, this is for the jump truck. More stuff for the jump truck. Looks like somebody's been partying. Well, it ain't perfect, but I gave her a little wipe down. Probably end up giving it another bath later. I'll get in there with some actual car cleaner instead of this. It's a little better. This old truck's getting a little rough around the edges. My cab corners are kind of blowing out. We're Probably gonna have to do a little redneck repair on that, or just never fix it. Yeah, this old truck, she's getting old. She's almost 41 years old. Yeah. I'm getting to a point where I'm gonna have to start thinking about retiring this and building me a new truck. I don't know about you guys, but I would like to build another truck. Another one that's, you know, obviously four-wheel drive, but I really don't want to build something that'll get me into trouble like the last time. Just to have fun on like trails and stuff, you know. You know, like desert trails, not woodsy whoop-de-doos and rocks and stuff. The cab on this is pretty crusty. If I can find an old OBS that's kind of in rough shape, get one of those and we'll use this one for parts and build that truck. Like, we'll just take the solid axle and just take both axles and everything and put it under that one. 5-speed swap it if it isn't already. Either put the 4-banger in or sell it and put a 12-valve in. That's kind of what I've been thinking about lately, to be honest. So, I don't know. But other than that, I think this truck here, other than a couple of oddball stuff like hooking up my lights in the back, servicing the front hubs, there's something else. Oh, I want to put my extra cooling fans in this just in case she runs a little hot. It normally doesn't need a fan, but needing that stop and go traffic or just sitting for too long, it starts to get a little toasty. Yeah, so I want to do that. Notch the cross member for the front drive shaft. That way I can get a little more down travel and not snap the drive shaft off at the transfer case. Yeah, but other than those things that I need to take care of, this thing is just about ready. I've got, I probably mentioned earlier, my new wheel and tires on the way. I'm hoping Monday they'll have it in and I can maybe get it done then, because I kind of want to drive this thing. You know, without the wheel. Oh, the other thing I'm probably going to end up doing is ordering my steering kit for the front. I would really like to get that taken care of. The bump steer is just, it's tiring. Ugh. Oh, I gotta put my second pair of shocks in. Oh, yep, there's that. Yep. So, other than that, I think that's it for this video. I found my my shredded tire. This is back in the back of the junkyard truck. You want to see it? Okay. Yeah. That's. You know, I was getting ready to post this video, and then I realized, I forgot to talk about the Gambler500. Basically, the Gambler is an event for people to take cheap cars, trucks, whatever, build something crazy, take them off-road, go on off-road adventures throughout Oregon, but at the same time, do trail cleanup. So what they'll do is you'll get a rig, and while you're on a trail or whatever, if you see trash, you pick it up, and then later in that event you bring it to trash drop-off stations. And I think most times, depending on how much you get, how much trash you bring, or what you find, you can get some kind of award. I don't know what it is, but it's basically turned into kind of a little bit of everything. It's a community get together, have fun. There's camping, and then we're also doing you know, trail cleanup and stuff, helping clean the environment a little bit, you know. And it's turned into kind of a thing with other states. I think even Florida has got a Gambler, got Utah, a whole bunch of other states I can't name right off the top of my head, but that's pretty much what the Gambler is. And if you want, I'll throw a couple clips of what Gambler looks like. And yeah, me and Dad are going, and we're taking old Betty. So it's gonna be fun.